What it do, y'all? It's your girl T Donay. I'm back at it again with another Teeism. I know. I'm late. But I had a very, very exciting weekend, which kind of derailed me from filming, and I need to do more filming during the week. But I started back my actual career job, so this is my second career job. I have a first career job too because I do serve the community through and through, from media all the way to my actual job. So you're gonna kind of see a little delays. But one thing I am gonna promise is that I film 3 days before it drops, because I'm filming the day after, and I'm gonna film 3 days before it drops. So y'all not gonna see this till Tuesday. So if it's whatever day you gonna see this, you see this, man. You just gonna see it. But shout out to Kevin and Mark. I'm working with Kevin and Mark. I'm not gonna tell y'all what brand I'm working for, but it's an amazing brand. It serves the community. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But like, I'm working with them boys, and we went to the Bun B concert with Mark. I went with the Bun B concert with Mark, my boy Mark, and we had a great fucking time. And it was giving Texas. Shout out to Bun B. Shout out to him for bringing all the legends and new legends out. And also just shout out to Mississippi too, because David Banner came out. He did his thing. Shout out to them boys, man. It was a great show. I enjoyed it. I loved it, man. Keep it Texas. Keep it going. Keep it Southern at all times, right? But now let's get back into the teasing. Let's get back into it, right? So for this episode of teasing, we're talking about Black women in fashion, right? In the last episode, we talked about community, right? But let's tie it back to fashion, right? In 2 Saturdays ago, I went to this album release party by Leah's World, dope artist from Houston, Texas. Love her aesthetic, right? She was there with some other dope artists and dope females that I know. And I looked around and I saw that there was different aesthetics and fashions being represented among those women. Shout out to all those girls. I saw Alternative, which is a collective of emo, punk, I forgot one, grunge, all those, right? Goth, right? And then I saw Hoochies, right, which was myself, right, with the capris and the colorful clothes and the stacked jewelry, right? And then I saw some preppy girls. I saw some earthy girls, right? I saw a whole bunch of different fashions. Everybody was cute as fuck and they was killing it. And it hit me. Damn, no matter what Black women do, we're always going to be alternative. So some of y'all are thinking, what does that mean? Alternative just literally means different. It means not like dressing as the norm. And no matter what Black women do or Black people do, they're going to be alternative because you're alternative, right? That does not mean Black people are not normal, because we are. But under systematic oppression from all sides, we are alternative. No matter what we do, we're not normal and we won't be normal. And I'm happy with that, because that allows us to actually live outside of the box, or outside of the glass ceiling, that I like to say. So before you take this the wrong way, saying something wrong with Black people, no, that's not what I'm saying. It's the fact that we refuse to fit in a standard that shows normalcy from the other side, the people that's oppressing us, allows us to have free range of motion and do what the hell we want to. So let's break it down. So let's bring it back to the 1800s, 1893, when Black people were basically just about 30 years free from slavery. Some of them were sharecropping, but from their time of sharecropping, they enjoyed themselves by doing dances like the hoochie coochie. That dance turned into a lifestyle or a subculture where people were being okay with being seen as a certain way. So they started to dress a certain way. They started to make music a certain way. They started to talk a certain way. And sometimes people told them people ain't never gonna be good people. Some of them people were banned from going to the church, right? But those people made a subculture. By 1950s, those African Americans that were seen as hoochie, which could be hoochie mamas or hoochie daddies, started to really, really just own to the subculture. And you heard of the hoochie, the term hoochie. By 1990s, the term hoochie was glorified and it was flipped to something that was just beautiful, good in a subculture of Black women. So when you think of hoochies, you're thinking of Little Kim, Foxy Brown, Kelly Price, Mary J. Blige, Gangsta Boo, and on and on and on. And what a hoochie is known for is her long nails, right? Her stacked jewelry, okay, like I have on, just certain types of makeup, tight clothes, bodycon dresses, crop tops, short shorts, airbrush, tall hairstyles. I also think like finger waves. I don't have any in my hair right now, but finger waves, that style of pixie, is very hooshy, right? But as I continue to look at Black women, there was also another shift happening into the alternative lifestyle for Black women, where Black women were starting to push into the rock scene, which we were already a part of, right? Because rock came from Black people. Rock and roll music came from Black people, right? It derived from the blues. You had, if you ever watched Cadillac Records, You have Chuck Berry. I forgot the lady's name. It was in the 1800s. I forgot her name. I feel so bad, but she also was one of the first women to make rock music. So it wasn't just started by Elvis or whatever they tell you was started by. It's actually black music that was kind of reshaped to fit and commercialized to fit other people. But shout out to those other people because some of my favorite bands are from those other people, right? Paramore, All American Rejects, Ever Since, Deftones. The Home Team's one of my favorite new bands. Sleep Theory, which is a mixed race of band. But some of my favorite voices, Julia Wolf, some of my favorite voices of alternative music right now comes from those other people. But we got to go back to where the roots are at. So why am I giving all this knowledge of like hoochies and alternative music? Because black people are alternative. And a lot of our music shapes how we dress and how we do fashion. But a lot of fashion comes from black women. So for example, when we think of alternative, we think of like white girls. We think of white girls, we think of like big bangs, we think of dark eye makeup, we think of dark makeup, we think of piercings, we think of tattoos everywhere. But that style actually came from black people. For example, one of the newest, most popular haircuts right now, edgy haircuts, is a pixie cut. If you ever seen a pixie cut with spikes or dyed, that's not something a white girl did first. That's something a black woman in the hood did first. I have facts. My aunt wears her pixie cuts to this day with black on the top and red on the bottom, on the sides and the back. If that ain't the most alternative punk shit I've ever seen when I was a kid, that shit was so fucking fly. That shit's so fucking fly. So when we think about like certain fashions that we think are not all enough or alternative enough, you gotta go to the hood. If you look at a hair magazine, the spikes, the bangs, the afro, not afrocentric, but the futuristic hairstyles, hard hairstyles that were being done in like the 1990s, late 1990s to early 2000s, were definitely deriving from black women, which got stolen by the alternative and emo genre in the early 2000s, to where you saw those girls put those same hairstyles on MySpace and Facebook back in the day when that was such a big thing where everybody was emo, but that started in the hood. And so when we think of alternative, it's black people. It don't matter what we do. I'm gonna give you, for example, a little bit of myself. I grew up a little different, and I don't want to say different like different, but I grew up in a small town. My small town was very country rap tunes town. Boosie, Webby, Plies, UGK, 3 6 Mafia, Zero, Trey. We was bumping all that. I had all that on my Little Wayne, Cash Money Records, Trio Fan. I had all that on my MP3 player because I couldn't afford an iPod. I had a little MP3 player, but it was a 24 gigabyte MP3 player that she was bumping. I had a lot of space. And so I was listening to everything. I had a little R&B, Kelly Price, Monica, Mary J. Blige, Trey Songz, Chris Brown, Jaheim. I was listening to all that, but I used to get on LimeWire and FrostWire, and my parents wouldn't buy the rock CDs for me. They didn't. But I was listening to MTV, VH1, and all these good things. And I really fell in love with Paramore, Panic at the Disco. Those are my top two bands. Then, of course, All American Rejects, Green Day, Ever Since, Deftones. I can go on and on and on of the bands that I enjoyed because I was running across VH1. Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. Christina Aguilera was actually my favorite pop star behind Lady Gaga. Like I was really